Trump gave a legendary speech at the UN, shouting and talking all about the illegal human trafficking that is taking place because of the UN. They're bringing hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people into places like Europe from the third world, from poverty-stricken places, which is destroying Europe. Same thing that's happening in Ireland. We know this is caused by the EU, the UN, human trafficking ring that they're bringing in people into Ireland, of course, from all over the world. And like I said, it's destroying jobs, culture, heritage. It's destroying the very fabric of society in Ireland. Of course, we have Micheál Martin, our own Taoiseach, his response to what happened and what Donald Trump was saying after this video I'm about to show you. So stay tuned for that. So let's hear what Donald Trump said.
Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the number one political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through. But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net. We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London where you have a terrible mayor, terrible, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed, so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law. But you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained. What makes the world so beautiful is that each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to control your borders, as we do now, and to limit the sheer numbers of migrants entering their countries and paid for by the people of that nation that were there and that built that particular nation at the time.
I love it.
They put their blood, sweat, tears, money into that country.
Yes.
And now they're being ruined. Proud nations must be allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything. Where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons, they should, in many cases, be immediately sent home. And while we will always have a big heart for places and people that are struggling and truly compassionate, answers will be given. We have to solve the problem, and we have to solve it in their countries, not create new problems in our countries. And we are very helpful to a lot of countries that are just not able to send their people anymore. They used to send them to us in caravans of 25, 30,000 people each. These massive caravans of people pouring into our country, totally unchecked and unvetted. But not anymore. According to the Council of Europe in 2024, almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were foreign nationals or migrants. In Austria, the number was 53% of the people in prisons were from places that weren't from where they are now. In Greece, the number was 54%, and in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72% of the people in prisons are from outside of Switzerland. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did. They repaid kindness with crime. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration. Once we started detaining and deporting everyone who crossed the border and removing illegal aliens from the United States, they simply stopped coming. They're not coming anymore. We're getting a lot of credit, but they're not coming anymore.
That is literally the best speech I think I've ever heard in my life. One of the best speeches I've ever heard in my life on immigration and illegal immigration. Wow. Just perfectly put. A few key points I want to touch on right there. So yeah, he said that there was 624,000 people, whatever crazy number, flooding into the US. The EU are funding these people, giving them money, giving them resources to come to America, destroying American culture, heritage. It is absolutely crazy, amazing. So obviously that got cut off. And now in the US, it's been 6 months. They haven't had one foreign illegal immigrant. We need to do the same thing here in Ireland. They let in 25 million people in Biden's shit 4-year administration. The left are destroying the world. They want to destroy the world with their woke communist ideology. It's crazy. This Marxist ideology has to stop. So like he said, they're not even coming anymore because they know they're going to be stopped. Like in Ireland, they know they're able to get into the country, so they just keep pouring in. There's nobody stopping it. The EU and the UN are both helping people come to Ireland illegally. It's crazy stuff. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them. They're literally a massive invasion in this world pouring into Ireland. It's disgusting. There's an invasion into Ireland, depleting our social safety net as well. Like, if you think about it, guys, this welfare dole that we have here, that will eventually be overwhelmed, and it already is overwhelmed. They're paying €750 to Roma gypsies. They're having mass people coming in from God knows where. They're giving them money on the social net. Also, our safety is at risk. Crazy stuff. He said it plainly right there. You're being destroyed. Your countries are getting destroyed. How plainly can I put it to you? And the UK are just looking at them there with sour faces. Oh, whatever. They know what they're doing is wrong and disgusting. They're destroying the world with their left woke ideology. This is unprecedented. There's never been a time ever when we've had so many illegal aliens pouring into Europe and nobody cares. They're actually funding it. They're not even doing anything to stop it. They're actually funding it. And he said in London they have a terrible mayor. Of course, they have everyone there in London is crazy. Keir Starmer, London Sadiq Khan, or whatever the hell his name is. They want to bring in now Sharia law. But you're in a different country. You cannot bring that in. This is a Western country. He said, yeah, they're being overwhelmed by different customs, religions. They're destroying the heritage of Ireland, the cultures. I mean, of course, that's what's happening. If you don't see it, guys, you're completely stupid. Like, Ireland is getting literally destroyed by different cultures, religions. It's just crazy. Heritage is gone. There's no sort of backbone to society anymore. It's just one big melting shit pot and nobody cares about each other. Individualism at its highest order. Capitalism, money. The leaders now, money is their god. Basically, the people coming here as well are claiming refugee for illegitimate reasons. Like, there's no legitimate reason to come from flipping anywhere in North Africa. It's perfectly fine there. The Middle East is perfectly fine. The world is perfectly fine. We need to go to these countries and help them out in their own country, not be bringing people here. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody thinks that makes sense. We're compassionate towards people. This isn't like a ruthless nature. Obviously, if you're struggling, we need to be compassionate, but help out your country, not to just be flooding into Ireland. It doesn't make any damn sense. Solve problems in their own country, not create problems in our country. It's crazy. Yeah, he says they're totally unvetted, totally not checked. 50% of people in these different countries, in Austria, 50% of people in Germany, 70% in Switzerland are foreign nationals. illegals that are in jail, like in the prisons. The prisons are being filled up with illegals. I love it. He said, you have to end it now. Our countries are going to hell. This is going to hell. You understand, guys? We're going to hell. When he says hell, it means hell, guys, bad, danger, danger. Do they not get it through their thick skulls? The Irish government, you don't get it through your thick skulls. We're going to hell. We're going to all be destroyed. That's it. We're finished. End of times. And then on top of it, we have the treacherous Micheál Martin saying that we don't even have open borders in our own country, that we control our borders. No, we do not. That is a lie. There's zero control. They let people pour into the country. The country has been radically changed. Ireland is destroyed already. And if we don't have leaders that have a backbone strong enough to actually call out these issues, how do we ever solve them? This is crazy stuff.
So the premise that Europe has open borders is not the case. We've just signed an EU asylum pact. So Europe doesn't have open borders.
Absolute clown show. Absolute clown show right there. Then we also have Minister for Justice Jim O'Callaghan talking about immigration. These people are all in cahoots together. They don't think there's a problem with the country, and the country's going downhill quickly.
You also asked about my predecessor's comment about the majority of people coming seeking international protection here, whether or not they're coming through Dublin Airport or whether or not we believe they're coming over the border. It's now the situation in 2025 up to the 19th of September that 87.66% of applicants for international protection make their applications at the IPO office. We believe that is indicative that a number very close to that amount.
What was that percentage, sorry?
87.66%. So that suggests, and I think it's fairly strong basis to suggest it, that the overwhelming majority of people who are claiming international protection in Ireland are arriving in over the border. They're coming from the United Kingdom, arriving into Northern Ireland and coming down claiming international protection in Ireland.
How the hell is that legal? That's not legal. They need to cut that off completely. You're killing the Irish people. Your ancestors hate you. This is crazy stuff.
The reason we say that is because if somebody arrives into Dublin Airport or one of the ports and they wanted to claim asylum, they would do it there and then in the ports or the airports. So if we're trying to identify the makeup of international protection applicants, it is clearly the case that most are coming from Britain. That makes it difficult for us. We fought for very many years appropriately and successfully to keep the border open. But obviously the common travel area is an agreement for the benefit of citizens of Ireland and the UK. It is not for the benefit of citizens of other jurisdictions. So it is unlawful for persons outside of Ireland, the UK citizenship, to travel across the border like that.
Good. Finally, one person actually called it out. I mean, this is crazy. Our ancestors hate us that we're destroying the country. We're destroying the very epitome of what makes up the country and what makes it great. This is insanity, guys. Like, these people need to get their head out their ass and actually start doing some goddamn work. This is some bullshit. Nobody actually holds these people to account. Like, I would literally tell these people, if I went on Virgin Media, it's going to go #1 show of all time. I will just grill people all day long because this is bullshit. This has to stop. They're destroying the country. They're not coming in. He said 90% of people that are claiming asylum are going to the IPO centre in flipping Dublin. So they're actually just traveling from England. That's not true refugee status. That's bullshit refugee. That is not a refugee, guys. If you're a refugee, you come to the first country that you seek, which is Greece or whatever. This is not true refugee. This is bullshit stuff, guys, and everybody knows it. And it's great to see we have the establishment and the mainstream media running scared. We're the captain now. We're the mainstream media. This asshole Mick Cliff talks about how we cannot listen to the USA because they're going rogue, when in reality Donald Trump is the first president to call out this bullshit. This guy is a shill for the Irish mainstream media and a shill for the Irish government.
The thing is, Kieran, most of the developed countries are looking at this, those that are not veering towards authoritarian rule themselves. And I'd say they're wondering, can we manage, or to what extent can we manage without the USA? Because to a large extent, the place has gone rogue. I mean, the USA was the country that was involved in enlightened self-interest in terms of all foreign affairs. It was good to get along with people. It was good to promote particular things. That's all gone. So
the left-wing psychopaths will gaslight us. They'll make us seem like we're the rogue ones, like we're on the right of the rogue. The left are the rogue ones. They kill people if they don't agree with their messages. They're fascist. They're left-wing. They're literally evil. They're the devil, guys. These people are the worst people ever. People like this guy that spreads these messages in the mainstream media is pushing that sort of hatred on the people. Oh, they've gone rogue, America. America are amazing. They're the first country to call out this nonsense. The Joe Biden bullshit administration didn't call out anything. Finally, we have Donald Trump, a man that will call out the bullshit that's been happening in this world and make our countries better. This is absolute propaganda that they're spreading on the mainstream news. Crazy stuff. Virgin media. Bunch of virgins. Bunch of flipping idiots here. This is absolutely insanity, guys.
You know, obviously they're a huge trading partner. But I'd say in most aspects of life, outside of trade at the very least, they're beginning to wonder, how are we going to manage? Is it realistic, for example, to pivot towards the likes of China? I don't know. But they're definitely come to a point where the USA is not occupying the role in the developed world that it has for the last 80 years.
See, this is the psychopaths, like I said, we have in government and we have in the mainstream media. He wants us to be like the Chinese now. The Chinese government have social credit scores. They take away your money. They take your organs. They kill you. Then they send the bullets to your family's home, and then your family have to pay for the bullets because you crossed the road illegally or because you drove 2 kilometers over the speed limit. The Chinese are a communist, corrupt society. These people want us to be like China. Go to China. I advise anyone, if you don't want to be like a Western country, like the US, in Ireland and in Europe, our own culture, Irish culture, being pushed heritage, I advise you to leave. Do not stay in Ireland. I don't want you here, and neither does anybody else. We hate you, matter of fact, Mick Call. We hate you. Whatever your name is, Mick Cliff. You want us to be like China? Go to China. See how it is there. They're flipping disgraceful, guys. They kill their own people. They're a communist country. Disgusting. These are the people that we have that are creating news stories in Ireland. You don't know. Irish people need to wake up. Send this video to everybody you know. Wake up, people. Don't listen to these disgusting people. They want to kill you and they want to blame you for your heritage and your culture. They hate us. Absolutely disgusting. If you guys want to support me, push back against these assholes. Make sure to hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for €3. These guys will have us all killed. I'm telling you right now, they will kill us all if myself and other people don't speak up. If I didn't have this platform, we'd be dead already, to be honest, guys. If we didn't have the internet and great patriots posting on X and people posting on YouTube and Instagram, we'd be dead already. Dead already. You can forget about all this freedom stuff. They want us to be in a communist shithole that is China. I love you guys all. Stay free. Don't listen to any of these assholes. And I'll see you all in the next one, guys.